Andrei, when people ask me, who's caught your eye at training camp? You're at the top of my list. Do you feel like you are having an excellent camp so far?
I do think I've made a good jump, definitely. I mean, I think it's very noticeable, the jump I've made with the training that I've been doing. But I was talking to Dave yesterday and saying how even if I'll have a good practice, if I do something that I didn't like, I'll still come off the field a little bit mad. Because, I really want to just solidify myself and just it's a good thing to be a perfectionist, but sometimes it can, mess with your head a little bit. But I think mostly I've been having really good practices, and I just want to keep the momentum going.
The year one to year two phenomenon, I think it's real. I experienced it. I mean, I felt like when I came back the second year, I knew my surroundings better. I felt like I could, take advantage of talents a little bit better. But that part of it, you've obviously done. The other part you've done, what about the physical part of it? And your training had to be extraordinary because you're bigger, not only bigger, but faster and quicker in and out of cuts. I mean, what's the secret sauce? What did you do?
I did a lot, to be honest. In the off season, I was training. I would do footwork in the morning, footwork or speed work in the morning. Then I would lift, and then I would do my receiver work. And I think all of that combined for 4 days a week, for 3-4 months straight. I think it can help you a lot. And I also did a lot of single leg stuff, which I haven't done in the past. So I think that makes me a lot more explosive. And I was also obviously gifted genetically to have all those kind of workouts really just benefit me in every way possible.
You worked with a well-known wide receiver guru named Drew Lieberman in the offseason. Give us a couple of things from a wide receiver standpoint that are second nature now from working with him.
Yeah, I think a lot of my catching mechanics are a lot cleaner. I could always catch the ball, but I would, if I had a problem going to my right side where I would let the ball come into my body. I think it something have to do with my eyes or the depth perception with the eyes. So now I can just turn my right arm forward and stop it in front of me instead of letting it get to my right shoulder. And it's just little things like that can make or break just a routine catch. So things like that, and then obviously just my shifts and the way that I get in and out of square breaks. I feel like I can sprint full speed at any depth and get out as clean as I want to. So those are I think that helps being a receiver for sure.
You mentioned your genetics. You're obviously gifted in that area. What sports did you participate in? And
Yeah.
I know you were talented enough to be an Olympian, right? I mean, do you think you could have made this year's Olympics team?
Yeah, I mean, I was just watching the decathlon the other day, and a lot of the guys there I was competing against at nationals. Leo Neugebauer from Germany, he was a Texas guy. I barely lost to him at nationals my junior year. And guys like Aiden Owens, who competes for Puerto Rico, I was right there with him. And then another guy, Heath Baldwin, he's from Michigan State. And so a lot of these guys, I was right there with them. And they train year round. I mean, all credit to them. They're also great, but I could have been, I think, right there with them as well.
So Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are still here, but Tyler Boyd is not. Did you set it as a goal to be the quote-unquote third wide receiver?
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird position for me because they, even going into spring, I was only playing X. I was only playing Z. So I was like, okay, I guess they kind of see me as the guy who's always going to fill in for T or Jamar whenever they go out or if someone gets hurt, knock on wood, hopefully not. So that's what I was preparing for mentally. Obviously, physically, I think I was preparing just to be a better receiver. But, before camp, Joe texted me saying, be ready to play F. And, I did. And I think my skill set can translate to F very well. I know how to use my body a lot more now, be physical with my routes, and be a lot more patient. So I was pleasantly surprised getting that text for sure.
So F meaning slot receiver. Yep. And your first practice, you took all your reps that you were taking at slot, and you had never played slot before. Mm-hmm. How difficult or how much of a transition in terms of traffic? How many more things do you have to be aware of when you're in the slot as opposed to outside?
Yeah, you definitely have to be more aware of the defense. I mean, because you got to, look at the ball, and then, Joe could signal something. And if Joe signals something, he could snap it right after he signals something. So you really got to be locked in on, especially the safeties. And you kind of have to just train your eyes, to be a lot more peripheral, see the rotation of the safeties through your peripheral, because someone could still be in front of you. And you need to see if someone is behind the guy in front of you and see where he is. Is he on the hash? Is he in the middle of the field? Is he, dropping into cover two? So it's just a lot more that you have to process. But I think once you get a couple of practices under your belt, then, it's pretty smooth sailing.
We're visiting with Andrei Iosivas. Joe Burrow had wrist surgery and missed the final 6 games of the year last year. How quickly did you realize he's still Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I mean, he was still slinging at OTAs. Obviously, he would do take some time off during OTAs, but I mean, I was saying the other day when he was doing his rolling out and threw it to Shed on a 70-yard bomb in the air. I was like, that's different. I mean, there's some guys pinpoint accuracy is what they take pride in, guys like Peyton Manning, stuff like that. But people forget, I mean, he's athletic and he looks big now too. He looks like he could take a couple hits. But I mean, he's still an athletic specimen, can chuck that thing wherever he wants to. So it's nice to see for sure.
Speaking of Peyton Manning, one of his receivers, Troy Walters, is your receiver coach. And I always marvel watching him out there working out with you guys, and he still gives you decent looks, I mean, yeah. He'll jam you up, try to jam you up as a DB and give you pointers and techniques on releases and all that sort of thing. How big has it been for you in your career to have a receiver coach that played the game at such a high level?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, someone who's played for that many years, you tend to just respect initially, just knowing him, okay, he played in the league this long, he really knows what he's talking about, and he's played the position, so he knows the little details it takes to get open and the little details it means to win. He's been coaching these guys for a long time, and especially with me and Charlie and even the young guys now, you can tell he still really, really cares. And he's always trying to give us, when we're doing routes on air, a choice look or a choice out or something like that. Just giving us looks so that we're prepared whenever we get into the game. And I really appreciate him every time he's out there sweating it out for us. Yeah.
You made the jump last year from Princeton in the Ivy League to the NFL and had a very solid rookie season, 4 touchdown catches. But was your head spinning throughout that rookie year?
I would say during camp, there's some unscripted times where you're kind of just scared. I guess that's the right word. Just scared of what could come up and just thinking you might not know something. And, even though I prepared really hard, it still is all new. But I think the only thing, I started during the Steelers, and once I had that full start under my belt, the games after that kind of felt nice. But before that, every time I got into the field on offense, I was like, oh, shoot, I'm really out here. But, yeah, after that Steelers game, I feel like I eased into it.
Looking at you, your physical stature and your skill set to go along with it, quickness, speed, and all that, not only a threat on the football, but in the red zone. Mm-hmm. I mean, man, your touchdown ratio, percentage-wise, to your catches was extraordinary. I mean, is that something that, hey man, when we're in scoring distance, check me out. I'm here. I'm ready.
Yeah, the ratio was insane. I was very blessed to get looked at in the end zone a lot of times, and also to find my way. 2 scrambles to find my way open. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I want to be a threat everywhere on the field, not just the red zone. But the red zone, obviously, if you're a bigger target, you have the possibility for fades, just jump ball. If you're quicker, you can move someone really quickly off the line, get the ball. But then you have other guys like Mike, like Gesicki, Jamar, and T that they can do it all too. So it's pretty much just pick whoever you want to attack and just pick the weakest DB defender on the field, mismatch you think, and then just have them win.
It's been a great camp for you so far. Keep it up and have a great season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.